Everyone. Welcome to day 5, session 5. I, Yogita Manglani, on behalf of Prestige Institute of Management and Research Gwalior, welcome you all in Atal FDP on using HR analytics for managing workplace behavior. With the permission of coordinators of our event, Dr. Garima Mathur ma'am and Dr. Chanda Gulati ma'am, I would like to welcome our resource person for today's session, Dr. Arul Senthil Kumar from Ramaiah Institute of Management, Bangalore. Sir has 14 years of rich experience in corporate and academy. He is an expert in organizational behavior, human resource management, talent acquisition and retention, training and development, performance management and attitude, and personality development training. He has several papers to his credit published in international reputed journals. Sir has organized management development programs, faculty development programs, and workshops. He is certified HR analytics trainer, life skills trainer, and behavioral trainer, and trained many professionals and students. So we are happy to have you here for a session on building HR metrics and creating HR dashboards. So everyone here is to gain some knowledge. The stage is all yours. Welcome, sir.
So thank you, Ms. Yogita. So thank you for your nice introduction. So thank you so much. Right. Fine, ma'am. So can I start the session, ma'am? Garima, ma'am, and can I take the session?
Yes, sir, please.
Fine, thank you. So good evening, all of you. So is it audible from my side? It's clear, audible from my side, all of you, all the participants? I think.
Yes, sir. You are perfectly audible.
Perfectly audible, right? Very good, nice. So first of all, thank you so much for inviting me to this faculty development program on HR analytics. So I thank Prestige Institute of Management and Research Gwalior for giving me these opportunities, and my personal thanks to Dr. Garima madam and Chanda madam so invite me for this program as one of the resource person. So thank you so much. So with this, I'm going to start the session. So today we are going to discuss about I think last 2 days. Yesterday, you might have discussed about linking HR to strategic drivers of the business, and the previous day, you might have discussed about what about the basics of HR analytics and types of HR analytics, and slightly maybe the HR and connected to the business. All these things we might have discussed after 2 days, and so further and continuation on. So today we are going to discuss about the HR metrics, and post break likely I'm going to discuss one interesting case on HR metrics, how the HR metrics which is being used at the organization, which we are going to discuss. So this is what the agenda today, right? So participants, is it audible from my side? The voice is clear. So all of you except organizers, I couldn't see any even one single face. Is it possible? Kindly enable your cameras. So that should be better, and maybe which encourage me to share and participate more from my side. Okay, is it possible? If you don't mind, just kindly share or enable your cameras if you don't mind. Is it convenient, all of you? It's always a challenge for the trainers to train people to online exactly. So obviously people disable that. Participants, is it possible to enable? Yes.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
This is Richa.
Hi,
How are you,
ma'am.
sir?
I'm good, ma'am. I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine, sir.
So congratulations.
Chanda
by the
madam
way.
personally messaged me, join fast. Arul sir is asking about you.
So congratulations, madam, by the way, exactly. So I saw your news today in the paper got published in so and so journals, exactly. Congratulations.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Right. So participants, can I have some, at least enable your cameras quite some time? At least I can see your face. Is it possible? No. Okay, so I'm asking participants, but the organizers are enabling the cameras. At least yes, Nitish Sharma, very good, nice. Thank you. Please enable set. Okay, yes, good. Yes, Nega, good. Right, fine. So today we are going to discuss about the HR metrics. Okay, so the metrics, what is metrics basically, and what is the use of metrics in HR analytics, and what are the metrics which is part of different verticals. Basically, is, for example, we have a talent and acquisition, we have learning and development, we have compensation management, we have employee retention, we have employee turnovers, we have employee engagement, right? We have performance management. So likewise, we have a different verticals under the HR, right? So each vertical, each verticals, so different metrics are playing important role, basically, right? So we are going to discuss about all those metrics, and what is the use of metrics, and how which is going to support for the HR analytics. All these things we are going to discuss today. So by and large, the metrics are playing very important role in the HR analytics, because the metrics, which is all about the measurement, okay, properly and exactly. As a HR people, you have to measure it, okay, and on which based on which I have to collect the data. Okay, so then the data has to be taken and analyzed, useful for the analysis side. So that's what we are going to discuss about today, right? So can I have any perspective, any idea from anyone? So what about HR metrics? Any idea? What is metrics? Have you heard about any perspective, any idea on HR metrics? Anyone, please? Any perspective on HR metrics? Any participation? At least just share your perspective on what is HR metrics. Any idea, any perspective on HR metrics? Even chat also, it's okay, fine. Yeah, participant, just kindly share what about your view on this HR metrics. Okay, no issues. With just 1 second, please.
Participants, please respond.
Yeah. Anyone wants to share anything?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, sir, please. Yes,
Sir, HR metrics is a measurement tool
Ah,
to measure the effectiveness of HR initiative or the system.
very good, sir. May I know your name, please? Sir? So what about your
Yeah,
name?
I'm Dr. Gaurav Jaiswal.
Oh, thank you so much, sir. Excellent. So can you please repeat if you don't mind? So what about your understanding on HR metrics, sir?
Yeah, there are the tools that we are using to measure the effectiveness of the system. So HR metrics we are using to know whether our HR system is effective or not, whether it is able to contribute in the achievement of the organizational objective or not.
Very good. Brilliant, sir. Thank you so much. So I have one question. Probably I'll get back to you. Actually, any other perspective from anyone? So what about HR metrics? Why are we
Yes,
using HR metrics? Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
yes, sir. Sir, so I feel that it is a control tool with the help of which we can go ahead for HR audit. Like we can efficiently identify the efficiency of the functions that we have implemented within the organization, and then eventually we can go ahead for HR audit also. Like it can
HR
be.
audit. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Correct, ma'am. You're right. Perfectly right. Kindly share, ma'am. Please, you're right. Please go ahead.
So that's what I was telling. It can be helpful, or it is a tool for HR audit also. So with the help of HR metrics, we can identify the gap and what effectiveness or where we need to move from the current to the required, perspective that can be identified. So
Brilliant,
we
ma'am.
can gap between the required and the actual performance
Good.
or the functions that are being implemented.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Yeah. Any other perspective from anyone? HR metrics. Any other perspective from anyone? Right. Sir, I'm sorry, actually, I forgot the name. So the first participant, sir, can you please, or ma'am, Indra, madam, so can you have any example of HR metrics? At least any one metric, is it possible to share? Any one metric? One or two metrics, so this is what the metric, so this is what we are going to measure it. Any one metric, is it possible? Any idea about it? Right.
Yeah.
No, yes, ma'am,
So,
please.
So, sir, we can, start implementing the different functions. It can be maybe performance appraisal. If we take one example of a function, so maybe performance appraisal, we have decided what would be the standards, the expected outcomes, and eventually that has been implemented. So, how much effectively is it implemented or not? That can be analyzed with the help of a matrix. And when we talk about matrix, we have multiple things into it. So, what enhances the performance? Is it culture which is supporting? Is it job satisfaction which is supporting? Is it the commitment of employee which is supporting? So, we can make a matrix with with the perspective of a performance appraisal, and the outcome can be identified.
Brilliant, madam. Thank you so much. Right. Any other point? Anyone wants to add further points? Almost good point, ma'am. Thank you so much. Anyone wants to add any perspective on HR matters? Any small example on that? Right. No issues. Good. So, is it visible? The screen is visible, all of you? Is it
Yes,
visible?
sir,
The
it's
screen?
visible. Yes,
Right.
So, it's possible, sir.
Okay. So HR metrics, obviously having said that it is a measurement tool, right? And as a HR manager, right? So we are supposed to measure whether the HR function is happening in a very effective way or not exactly. For example, what about our talent and acquisition vertical? So whether our talent and acquisition is performing very well or not. Obviously, we have to measure it, right? So unless we measure, certainly we cannot understand so what is happening at the organization, especially related to the talent and acquisition side. For example, are we hiring the quality people? Okay. And what about our offer acceptance rate? Okay. And what about our internal people potential? And what about external talent contribution to the organization? Right. And so what time are we taking to hire the people? Okay. And the time and the productivity, is it any correlation? So all these things are connected to the talent and acquisition side. Even when you take one vertical, talent and acquisition, right? So a lot of interesting metrics are playing predominantly, so major role exactly. Okay, so which means as a HR, right? Whenever we are discussing about the HR analytics, right? So we have to go for each and every vertical, and understand to measure how the respective vertical is functioning, whether it is functioning properly or not. How can we measure it? Yes, of course, we have to go for each and every metric. The metrics are very clear, right? So then we can go for collect the data. Those data we are going to use for analysis purpose, right? So which means that we don't have a right metrics in our side exactly, right? We are not able to collect the data. Okay, so the data itself, maybe the metric itself is wrong. Maybe we are not able to collect the right metric. Then what will happen exactly? We are going to use a wrong metric. Obviously, the wrong metric will be used in the machine will be taking, and the results will come. But the result, it won't be right what we are expecting. Right. So this is the way basically the metric supports for HR analytics side. When you take the turnover side, a lot of interesting metrics are there. Training sides, okay, what about the trainer's efficiency, trainer's satisfaction, right, and etc. Right, employee retention, a lot of interesting metrics are there. We are going to discuss one by one. Engagement, right? So metrics are there. Right. So which means each and every vertical, so a lot of metrics are there, so which is playing very important role, based on which we are going to collect the data. Those data will be utilized for the analysis purpose. So finally, the metrics is the measurement tool to support whether the HR function is efficiently performing or not. I hope you got it, all of you. The theoretical definition, right? So the metrics versus analytics, if you take, so it's a metrics on HR's process transactions. Okay, it's a traditional, and come back to the analytics side. Yes, why are we using analytics? Basically, it is for the business outcome. Okay, so when we use analytics exactly, okay, with the help of metrics, the metrics and the statistical tools and analytics, when we are using exactly, we are going to get the results. Okay, that this variable is influencing this variable. Okay, the variable A is influencing variable B, and variable A is influencing variable C, for example. And what is the percentage? Okay, and based on which we are going to invest on the respective variable, and we are going to take the decision making. So which means that the metrics is very, very important, and we are going to connect the analytics into the metrics, okay, with the help of data. Finally, we are going to take a very interesting decision making. So that's all about, so this is the way the metrics and analytics works in hand. I hope got it, all of you. Got it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right. Yes.
Sir.
We will go one by one. So the metrics is the system standard of measurement. Okay. Analytics, of course, it's a interesting data. So we are going to use the data and with the help of data. Okay. This is what the difference between metrics and analytics side. I'll just kindly have a look of what is metrics and what is analytics. Right. So the metric side, what is my head count? It is a metric. How many people did we hire? It is a metric. How many people resign? It is a metric. Fairly, just kindly have a look. What are the key characteristics of top performers? Analytics. What are our best recruiting sources of top performers? Analytics side. Who of our top performers is at the risk of leaving? So just kindly see both the sides, metrics and analytics sides. Okay. What is my headcount? So can I have any interpretation or any perspective on this? The difference between metrics and analytics. What about your understanding? Anyone kindly share, please, if you don't mind.
May I, sir?
Yeah, ma'am, please, ma'am. Who is speaking, ma'am? Just.
Dr. Indira.
Yes, ma'am. Please, yeah, please.
So looking towards the differentiation, I feel metrics is description of the data.
Okay.
Whereas when we talk about analytics, it could be prediction and prescription. Like looking to the last line, that what is the number of people who have resigned?
Okay.
And which is like a sort of reactive action.
Okay.
What is the number of people who have resigned? And when we look at the other side, that is analytics, that will be a sort of proactive approach. That means we are already prepared that how many people may leave and what are we supposed to do so that they will not leave the organization.
Okay,
So
you're talking about the predictive and prescriptive analytics.
That is
right?
about prescriptive and predictive, what I could understand out of the differentiation that I see.
Good, madam. Good perspectives. Okay, fine. Any other perspectives? So just kindly see the, because of course, by and large, all people are here HR people and academicians, by and large, exactly. So of course, if you see the context, the text itself, you can easily understand about metrics and analytics. Of course, this text is base for our further discussion exactly. Metrics, it is all about what is my head count. It is a metrics. But you see the word here, what are the key characteristics of the top performers? Any other perspectives from anyone? Any other perspectives? Any other view from anyone? Right. So what is my head count? For example, my class head count is 60 students. Okay, so that's my head count. My class head count is total strength is 60. So the metrics side.
Another perspective which I feel is metrics is a calculation,
Very
whereas analytics would be a result or outcome.
Result or outcome. Brilliant, madam. That's very interesting perspective. Metrics is a measurement. Okay, analytics is, of course, which is going to useful for taking the very, very interesting decision making where we want to invest. Okay, so we have to identify, so what is the problem, where is the problem, and where we want to invest, and what decision we have to take it. Okay, with the help of statistical tools. That's what analytics side. And moreover, you just kindly see the metrics this side. What is my head count? It is a 60. For example, I'm telling, right? So sometimes we are going to use this metric. Sometimes we don't want this metric. Again, I'm telling. Sometimes, for example, class strength 60. So sometimes I'm going to use it. Sometimes I'm not going to use it. How many people did we hire it? Maybe 60 people we have hired it. Sometimes this data is required. Sometimes this data is not required. Okay, how many people resign? Relatively little bit important metric. Yes, this data is required. Okay, so which means that everything which we are going to measure it, of course we have to measure so that we can understand about what about the effectiveness of the respective things. Okay, we are supposed to measure it, but sometimes we don't want that data. So my class strength 60 is, I don't want that data. When you come back to this side, what are the key characteristics of the top performers? Here, interesting variables are there. One is the top performers, right? The next one is exactly key characteristics, personalities. Even if you go a little bit further exactly, and you can take their attendance, okay, and if you take their attitude or a personality assessment test, you can take it. If you take even another further metric like a assignment submission date, so which means that all these variables are supporting to promote or emulate one individual student to become a top performer. Is it make sense, all of you? Got the point what I'm telling? Analytics side?
Yes, sir.
Got the point what I'm telling exactly? So what is my head count? It is a 60, only one metric. Sometimes we are going to use it, sometimes we are not going to use it. Okay, depends upon our convenience. But relatively, the last point, how many people resign? Yes, we are going to use it predominantly compared to the previous two metrics. But compared to come here, what are the key characteristics of the top performers? First, we have to collect the data, top performer data. We have to collect it. One variable, we have to use it. So then second one, the key characteristics. Key characteristics means, of course, we have to go for it. Maybe we can go for the personality assessment. Okay, so all the introvert people are performing very well. We have to measure it. No, extrovert people are performing very well in the class. It is right or wrong, we have to measure it. Conscientiousness personalities are performing very well or not, we have to measure it. I hope. Okay, next variable we can take it. Okay, assignment submission date, absenteeism rate, attendance percentage. For example, relatively more than 90% of students are performing very well. We have to collect the data. So which means that when you take the analytics side, okay, so different metrics which we are going to use it. One is the top performer, one is attendance percentage, and assignment submission date, personality assessment, and so on. Right? Like a different metrics which we are going to use it and collect the data. Then we are going to measure it. So which variable is influencing which variable? This is the way the metrics and analytics works. All of you, I hope you got it. What I'm telling, got it, all of you? Clear from my side?
Yes, sir.
Right. So you just kindly see the next one. How many people did we hire? For example, 100 people did we hire? The metric is over. But the next question, what about the quality of the hire? Okay. And out of 100 people did we hire exactly? What about the retention rate of those people the first 3 months? What about the quality of the hire exactly? What about the performance of the recent employees? Again, analytics side. I hope you got all of you how the metrics and analytics slightly differ. And of course, metrics is the input for the analytics side. Got it, all of you? Yes, say yes.
Yes, sir.
All right. So this is what the difference between metrics and analytics. Okay. So we will discuss one by one HR metrics examples. Okay. So 1 second, please. We're going to discuss the first metric, talent and acquisition metrics. So this is what the first metric, time to fill. Okay. So recruitment metrics. Any idea what is time to fill? One metric we are going to discuss, time to fill. Any idea what is time to fill and where we can use this metric? What is the objective behind this metric? Anyone?
So what exactly the time will be taken to fill the particular position or a vacancy?
Very good. Indra madam, right?
Yes, sir.
Very good, ma'am. So anyone? So what is the use of time to fill metric? Anyone? Okay. Next question, why are we using this metric, madam, or all of you exactly? Why are we using this metric and what is the benefit of this metric? Basically, this is a very, very important metric, okay? Because I think you should have, you might have studied, there is a framework, a LAMP framework, logic and everything exactly. Each and every metric, begin there is a strong logic is exactly, okay? That logic, it should be rational, okay? And the logic supports the metric basically, right? So, if there is no rationality and there is no logic, obviously we are not supposed to justify that why I am using this metric and why should I collect the data because of this metric exact. Example, time to fill. There is a logic. So can you please share at least where and what is the ultimate objective behind this time to fill? Anyone? Yes.
Yes, sir. If I'm permitted.
Yeah, ma'am, please.
So we make recruitment matrix for a purpose, and there are certain challenges in recruitment. One is the bad hiring cost.
Yeah.
the bad hiring cost, which is costing a lot to the organization. The second one is what would be the hiring pyramid that has to be identified. And we also need to have a talent pool so that the time to fill that particular vacancy should be very less, so that the production, the no production time should be reduced to 0. So these are certain challenges because of which actually earlier it was being called that it is only recruitment and selection as a function, but now we have renominated and we call it as talent acquisition group.
Yeah,
That
correct.
is not just the objective to recruit and select person, but the recruitment manager has a responsibility that the individual should be retained within the organization also.
Right. Any perspective from anyone regarding the time to fill metrics? What is the use are we using this metric? Objective behind this metric. Right. 1 second, please. Right. So time to fill, exactly. It's very interesting metric, right? For example, as a company, okay, so just announce the job, okay, so January 1, they just reveal to the market that so we have openings, okay, we are looking HR manager to our companies. Okay, the January 1, the company announced in the market officially, okay, it has come from the different the platforms exactly. So from the January 1, okay, and how long the company is going to take to fill the opening, the position exactly. It can be 1 month, it can be 30 days, 30 days, 40 days, 45 days, 60 days, 90 days, 120 days. Okay, so this is what exactly, which means that each and every openings, even here, lot of data we can check it. For example, each and every openings, okay, example, different designation, frontline executives, okay, how long on an average are we taking to fill the openings? Complete the openings exactly. For example, middle level, how long are we going to take it exactly? Okay, the top level, how long are we going to take it? Okay, and this is another interesting metric here. Okay, and so we can easily compare exact. For example, if you take one candidate, so hypothetically, if you take the candidate, okay, so the company A takes 60 days to conduct the interviews. Okay, for the frontline executive, software engineer, or the campus placement side, 60 days to announce the result. Okay, but the company B announced the result in 30 days exact. Okay, so which means that so the candidate is going to join the B company immediately. The candidate is going to not able to capture, maybe not able to hire the people. Okay, so which means the time to fill, if it delays, okay, we are not able to identify the candidates. So this is what the rationality behind it. I hope you got the point what I'm telling, what's time to fill. So the company takes, some company takes a very short span of time to hire the candidate. Some company takes little bit lengthy time. Some company takes, by and large, it's a very lengthy time, okay, to hire the candidate. Okay, so which means exactly, so how fast the company hires the candidates based on which the people will come and join the organization. Even that is the reason in the campus placement, some companies will come and hire the candidate. So immediately, as soon as the campus placement is started, exactly, even some companies will come and hire immediately. I hope you got the logic behind the time to fill. You got it? Yeah.
Yes,
Got
sir.
it? Right.
Yes.
So the point is exactly here, if you take the time to fill, so the respective department wise you have to collect it, the respective designation wise you have to collect the data. Okay. And another interesting point, is it applicable to all the designations? Okay. Again, I'm not sure telling that yes, time to fill is always at the earliest. No. Depends upon the designation. Sometimes, for example, the entry level maybe relatively okay. Entry level, it's okay, we can fill it up in the very easy way, but we need for the middle and top level, of course we need quite number of time, actually it's at least 6 months. Okay, for example, if you want to hire the CEOs, maybe the company takes like 1 year to 1.5 years. Okay, sometimes more than 6-8 months exactly. The vice president and president, rather than the internal promotion, if it's external promotion, the company takes relatively a long time, like a 6 months to 8 months to hire the external side. right? So which means that, so this is another interesting metric. Okay, maybe the depends upon the designation wise, the objective of the metric is different, middle level different, and entry level different. So this is the way the metrics works, right? So just kindly have a theoretical definition of this metric formula: job requisition date minus offer acceptance rate. So when the job is open, okay, and when the job is offer is accepted, so totally 60 days. This is a one metric. Got it, all of you? Time to fill. Got it?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Right? Yes. I think all of you are participating and listening. I hope so. Exactly. So any doubts, you just kindly ask me, please. Okay, maybe if you're not able to follow me, maybe any doubts, please just kindly ask me then and there, so that I just clarify your doubts, please. Right. So time to fill 60 days. So having said that, from my days, so the 60 days, is it a right or is it a wrong? Even today we are going to discuss an interesting case studies. In that case study also, there are two set of laborers, skilled laborers and unskilled laborers. Basically, the company took, okay, a little bit lengthy time for the skilled laborers, on account of which the company is not able to hire the quality talent. I hope you understood this mean. So different designation, different number of times. So the time is playing very important role. So that's what. So you are not, the company is not supposed to hire the middle and top level people at within a short span of time, exactly. But the entry level people, if the company feels, they can go a little bit far, right? The next metric is time to hire. What is this metric? So there is a difference between time to fill and there is a time to hire. Any idea, all of you? Time to hire? Yes. If you, yes, ma'am, please, ma'am.
Sir, actually, hiring is being done by the company,
Okay.
but the employee may or may not accept it.
Okay.
So, how much time did they take to find the appropriate candidate? That is time to hire. Whereas time to fill is that they have found the right candidate and the candidate has also accepted the offer after negotiation and the position has been filled.
I think relatively your term is right, but you have changed it exactly. So you have changed it. Okay. Yeah. Any perspective from anyone? Time to hire. Okay. The time to hire starts from the candidates applied to the job. Okay. And the candidate accept the offer. Okay. The previous case exactly is the January when the opening was revealed. So it was communicated. Okay. But here, just kindly have a look. January 1, the opening was communicated, okay, and here the Feb 1, so the candidate applied to the job, okay. So which means the time to fill for the company, it is 60 days, right? And time to hire for the same candidate, it's a 30 days. I hope you got the point. So what is the difference between time to fill and time to hire? Time to fill starts from the company side when the company opened the job. Okay. Time to hire when the respective candidate applied to the job. I hope you got the point, right? So which means that January to Feb, many people have applied the job. But of course, that 30 days, we were not able to select any candidate. Maybe the talent pool, so the recruitment pool, that resumes which we have received a particular one month, which was not good. Okay. So that's the reason the Feb to March, maybe that pool, it was very good. So the organization took 30 days to hire the candidate. So this is what the difference between time to fill and time to hire. So got the difference. This is another interesting metric. Okay, so this is the way the metric works exactly. So time to fill, one objective, time to hire, another objective. Got it, all of you? Clear? Right. See the difference, time to fill and time to hire. Got it? Can I proceed further?
Yes, sir.
Right. So time to fill, for example, this is another interesting point. You just kindly see the metric. Time to fill position 1, position 2, position 3, position 4, position 5, and etc. So which means that the first position, 15 days, already we have discussed different designation, different departments, different time. So days the company took. For example, the time to fill position 15 days, second job 60 days, third job 10 days, the fourth job 30 days, fifth job 40 days, which means that total 5 jobs. So on an average 60 plus 15. So total number of days divided by 5. So this is what the next. So on an average, so how many days the company took to hire the candidates? Okay, so this is the way we have to take it, which means that we can use this metric for the department wise. For example, marketing department. Okay, on an average, how many days they are taking to hire the candidates for the marketing department? HR department, on an average, how many days they are taking the candidates? Finance department, on an average, how many days they are taking to hire the candidate exactly? That's the first point. And come back to the designation wise. For example, entry level. So on an average, how many days? Middle level, on an average, top level, on an average. Another interesting metric, if you go a little bit further, male on an average, how they are accepting the offer. Female on an average, how they are accepting the offer. This is another interesting way, which means that female is going to accept the offer quickly or male is going to accept the offer quickly. If you go for this metric, time to hire, right? If you go for this metric, you can easily understand. So the female is going to accept the, for example, you provide the offer, okay, and who is going to accept the offer? Which gender is going to accept the offer? Basically, which also matters. Based on that, you can set up the compensation. I hope you got the logic what I'm telling. All of you, clear from my side? Clear?
Yes, sir.
So which
Yes.
means that you can easily set up the compensation. For example, I am telling, okay, female is going to accept the offer quickly. Okay, so as a HR, I'm telling, okay, compared to male took on an average to accept the offer 35 days. Okay, for example, I'm telling female took 20 days, 15 days gap. Okay, so which means that the next time as a HR, okay, we will discuss, maybe we are going to implement this, we will discuss maybe the compensation side slightly, we can reduce it, or otherwise maybe compensation side, maybe we can think about for the female employees, exactly. This is the way, so the metric supports for the compensation side. I hope you got the point, all of you, right? So this is time to fill offer acceptance rate. This is a very interesting metric. Any idea what is offer acceptance rate?
Uh,
Yes, ma'am. Please, ma'am.
Sir, in the previous formula that we have summed all the positions and then we have divided by number of
Total number of jobs, ma'am. Yeah.
Yeah. So isn't it that the average would be higher in this case? The average we should take of particular profile only, particular position only, that how much time it
That's what I'm telling, madam. For example, that's what I'm telling. You can take as per your convenience. For example, time to fill for the overall organization you can take. The average would be very high. I hope you understood. It's a one logic. Time to fill for the marketing department you can take it. You got the point, ma'am? What I'm telling?
But what I am saying is, in
Yes.
case if we sum all the positions, then the average that we will get, that would not be the right one.
Correct,
Because
madam. You're right. Your logic is perfectly right. I'm telling. Okay. So, for example, the 60 days. If you take the 60 days, the second job, 60 days, the 15 days. It's, for example, the entry level jobs. That okay, software engineer, entry level, 3 years of experience, entry level job. That is a 15 days. But for example, territory manager for the company, the company is going to, territory manager is going to handle at least 5 to 6 branches. For example, I'm telling the company took 70 days. Understand, right? So which means that if you put everything into overall, obviously one job increases the average. Got the point, ma'am? Got the
Yes,
logic? So
yeah.
this is maybe this metric is an overall organization time to fill. That's the reason I said, okay, if you want to go further very deep, go into the department wise. Marketing department on an average, what is that? Finance department on an average. Even that logic also doesn't work out, because marketing department different profile is there. Entry level sales manager, branch manager, territory manager, regional manager, president, vice president. For example, president and vice president, the company took n number of days. like maybe 6 months, 7 months. So there is no logic here exactly. You cannot compare the president recruitment time to fill and as well as the say branch manager recruitment time. Branch manager, maybe the 10 days we can hire, but the president and vice president, if it is external hire, we need at least 3 to 4 months. Okay. So which means that designation wise, we have to club it.
Right.
Got the logic, ma'am?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes.
So that is what I'm telling. So in the HR analytics, basically your logic and rational and critical thinking plays very important role. We have to bring some interesting critical thinking and the logic based on which you have to collect the data. You have
Right.
to understand your logic itself is, for example, your question is absolutely valid question. So how can I, one job is increasing the average, correct? For example, you are discussing it is for the overall organization. But when you present this information to the board or the CEOs or HR people exactly, they will accept it exactly. One job is increasing the overall time to fill. There is no logic here, right? Better we just make it into the department wise or a designation wise. The logic works out. Got it, madam?
Yes, sir. Yes, I
Okay.
got it.
Even for example, further I go, marketing department president, vice president, I'm talking about the top level. On an average, the company took 60 days to hire, for example. But when you take the HR department for the president and vice president, the company took almost 100 days. Why the deviation exactly? 60 days we can hire the marketing department, but the HR department 100 days it takes some time. So which means that 40 days extra. Why? Maybe in the market, so we are not able to identify the proper HR people in the middle level or a top level. Again, the company has to analyze it. So this is the way. So the data supports. Got it, ma'am? I hope.
Yes, sir. I got it, sir. Thank
Got
you.
it, right? Yes.
Yes.
Right. So any questions from anyone? I hope you got it, all of you. Right. Offer acceptance rate, next metrics. What is offer acceptance rate? Interesting metric. Offer acceptance rate. So can I have?
Offer acceptance, sir. May I?
Yes, sir. Please, sir.
Yeah. Offer acceptance rate is that how many offers made by the organization
Very good,
and
sir.
how many candidates have accepted that offer.
Brilliant, sir. So what is the use of this metric, sir? Gaurav, sir. What is the use of this metric basically? Or why are we using this metric? Is it a right?
Sir, we can make an estimate that how many people may accept or may join actually.
Okay.
Suppose we have a requirement of 10 engineers and we are only making 10 offers to the 10 different individuals. So it might be possible that not all 10 are going to join. So we need to understand that what is the offer acceptance rate. Suppose the offer acceptance rate is 70%. So we need to make more offers to the people so that we can ensure the required number of candidates for the organization.
Very good, sir. Good perspective. Thank you, sir. Any other perspective? Okay, fine. Very good. Next question is, yeah, you said one interesting point, sir. Actually, we are going to provide more offer to the candidates. So which means that 70% means we have to increase the offer acceptance. Such an extent, it is right exactly. Whether why do we provide more offers to the candidate instead of that? Why don't we increase the offer acceptance rate? Different perspectives, right? We can provide more offers. For example, 10 offer letter you have given, 7 people join. Even one perspective, another perspective, we can give 13 offer letter. Again, the 7 people will be joining. This is one view. Another view is the same 10 offer letter, but I need a 90% offer acceptance. Another perspective, another way of thinking exactly, right? Anyone wants to add regarding offer acceptance rate? Any perspective from anyone? Right. Offer acceptance rate is a very interesting metric. Okay. How much offers are we going to provide exactly? How many offers did you provide? For example, sir said exactly 100 offers we have given to the candidates, but what about the offer acceptance rate? Right. You just kindly have a look, number of offers accepted, number of offers made. So the point is 50 divided by 100, 50% offer acceptance rate. Okay, one metric is over. So very clear, which means that 50% of people are not joining the organization. So here only we are going to use the analytics side. One metric is over 50%. Next, we have to go, what are all the reasons the people are not joining? Okay. Again, we have to collect the data. Okay. For example, compensation is a problem. interview process itself is a problem because it's offer acceptance rate. Okay, during the interview process, not employee experience, interviewee experience itself is a problem, right? And maybe the working infrastructure, working environment, and the organization culture, maybe whatever initially they have observed is a problem, right? So next, if you go for the another interesting metric, what about the male offer acceptance? What about the female offer acceptance? Okay, and the transgenders, lesbian, gay, bisexual, even maybe the big companies go for the metric in such a way. Lesbian, how many people, gay, bi, transgenders, that is one thing. Okay, and even if you take another interesting department wise, what is the offer acceptance rate? Marketing department, what is offer acceptance? Finance department, for example, if you take some companies, okay, the people are pretty much interested to work in one or two or three departments, but one specific department they don't want to work. Okay, that department only the turnover is very high. That department only the retention is high challenge. That department only offer acceptance rate is very, very low. So it makes sense, all of you. Got it?
Yes, sir.
It makes sense, all of you. So which means that offer acceptance rate, if you take the overall from the company perspective, it's good. But even further, if you go to the sub data also, male, female, branch wise, okay, and geographical location wise also, which plays very important. For example, so Infosys, okay, if you take the Infosys company, Electronic City, Bangalore, people are comfortable to accept the offer. Maybe the Delhi branch, people are not ready to go. Okay, even offer acceptance rate, very interesting. Another, so what about the people traveling based on the offer acceptance? For example, how many South Indian people are pretty much interested to go and work in North India? So how much North Indian people are pretty much comfortable to come and work in South India? Likewise, we can easily understand the data. All of you got it? Got it? What I'm telling, logic behind it.
Yes.
Okay, so based on which, okay, even the subsequent year, the recruitment and talent and acquisition, we can practice. Example, offer acceptance rate. For example, I'm telling, so the company had given the 50 offers. Okay, out of 50 offers, all the 50 people, they have been asked to come and join in North India. South Indian, the campus placement had happened in Bangalore. Okay, for example, so and so institution in Bangalore, but predominantly all the people are from the South Indian sides. Okay, but all the people are willing to go and work in North India. Of course, it's very good. Exactly. So the company is very much comfortable. Next year also the company will be implementing the same strategy. I hope you got. Even the designation wise also, what about the offer acceptance rate? Think about. So which means that we apply the logic, we can go further. We can do a lot of interesting, collect a lot of data. I hope it makes sense, all of you. Say yes or no. Got
Sir,
it?
yes. Yes, sir.
Okay. The next one is external hire rate. What is external hire rate?
The candidates who have been hired outside the organization but not being promoted or transferred or that way. So how many people have accepted the offer that has been given by the company?
Very good. So internal hire rate, madam?
Internal hire rate is the number of people who have been promoted or transferred and eventually they have filled the positions by accepting the offer that has been given to them.
Brilliant. So in the external hire rates, so how many people we are going to hire externally for the respective positions? For example, just think about it. 100 openings we have in a company. Okay. So the company has decided 50 people we are going to hire externally, 50 people we are going to hire internally. Okay, maybe internal promotion to that level, externally directed to that level. So external hire rate 50%, internal hire rate 50%. One metric is over. Next question, the quality of the hire. Okay, so quality of the hire means the performance wise we have to go. Okay, after 6 months, okay, the company is going to measure the external hire rate and internal hire rate. Right? So external hire rate exactly. So the target, the standard performance they are expecting 80%. Okay, after 6 months, 80% during the 6 months. So out of 50%, both the side, external and internal, right? So finally, right, internal side, so the people, the average performance is more than 85%. Average performance of all the 50 employees. But the external hire rate, the average performance is relatively less, like a 68%. What I'm telling all of you? Got it? Got it? Right. So the point is exactly finally what we came to come to the conclusion that so internal people are performing much better than the external people. Okay, but of course for the internal hire we don't want to spend that much money and that much time also. Okay, even the people understood the culture, they are performing very well. External, we have to spend the time, we have to spend the money, and so they have to come and get adjusted. It takes some time, might be the reason, so their performance has come down. So which means that compared to external hire, internal hire is much better. This is what the metric communicates, data communicates. Got the point? All of you? Yes or no? Got it?
Yes, sir. Got it, sir.
So number of external hires divided by total count. Okay. The likewise number of internal hires divided by total count. Okay. So this is what, based on this metric, you can go to the quality of hire. Got it? Quality of hire, we can go. That's what. So then quality of hire, then we will understand so who is performing much better. So I think all of you got it. So what is metric, how the metric supports, and how we can apply the logic, right? And one metric supports for the another metric. Okay, you got the crux, got the point. What is metrics? Got it, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Right. So any doubts so far? So far we have discussed talent and acquisition. So a lot of metrics are there. Of course, even if you take talent and acquisition itself, around 25 to 30 metrics are there. Quality of hire, of course, we have explained exactly. It is the talent and acquisition. So a lot of metrics, but time being, we are just discussing all these things. Any doubts so far?
Participants, if you are having any doubt, please ask.
Okay, I hope you got. I hope you got the informations. Indra madam got it. So Gaurav sir got it.
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, a small doubt. I don't know if it is valid to be asked or not, but you have shared different variables, I shall call, like internal hire, external hire,
Yeah.
then acceptance rate. So
Yeah.
are these individually a matrix, or when we club all these variables, then we call it as a matrix?
No, it is individual metrics. It is individual metrics. So each and every metrics are, for example, objective of the metric is totally different. So that's what I'm telling. Offer acceptance rate is an individual metric. It's a respective one metric.
Is there any
In the-
possibility that we club all this and then we form a matrix saying
No,
that this is a
no,
matrix?
ma'am. Actually, the point is even we don't want to club exactly, because why do we don't want to club it? No, when we do the analysis, all the things will be in Excel. Exactly, the table it is there. But there we have to utilize the logic. Okay, and we have to take and which variable is influencing which variable. For example, I'm telling internal hire rate and the quality of the performance. Okay, there is a logic. Okay,
Right.
external hire rate, there is a quality of the performance, quality of the hire, sorry. Internal hire rate, quality of the hire, external hire rate, quality of the hire.
Like internal hire will have impact on other variables also. For example, employee engagement, employee commitment, employee
Of course,
satisfaction, employee
absolutely right.
employee efficiency, organizational culture. So will we club all these together, or we will have an individual one-on-one versus?
No. Actually, so when we, that's what I'm telling. What we are discussing is exactly all this and also individual metric. Okay.
Okay.
So for example, internal hire rate, external hire rate, offer acceptance rate, quality of hire, all this which comes under the talent and acquisition. So as a HR, right, when you collect the data, you have to use and apply the logics, okay, and you have to use this metric and collect the data and keep it with, okay, keep it in the database. So
The cause.
likewise, yeah, ma'am. Sorry.
And
Yeah.
then we can see the cause and effect relationship probably.
Correct. That's what. Maybe next week I'm coming there, madam. I'll show the entire data sets also exactly. The same way. Even the board is not there actually. Even that is what offline is much better. compared to
Right.
online. Even then and there, I can explain you everything. So even I have a laptop, I'll open data sheets immediately. I'll show to you where that is. Or otherwise, board is also there. I can explain to you. But it's okay. Anyhow, I'll be coming next week. I'll be sharing. So which means that first we have to use a metric and collect the data.
Okay.
Then what we have to do is what you asked the right question exactly. Yes, what you said, internal hire rate, okay, whether it influence the employee engagement more or external hire rate influence the employee engagement more. Yes, logic is there. Correct, right? So internal hire rate produce more good performance or external hire rate produce more good performance. That is a logic. So which means that, so we need an internal hire rate data and good performance data we need. Okay. Obviously, we have a good correlation is there. We can just correlate what about the relationship between these two variables, right? So whether it is a positive or a negative, of course, we can go with the interesting correlation regression. We can understand about it. So basic predictive analytics and logistic regressions and linear regressions depends upon the scale we can measure it. So this is the way the things works. Got it, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I got it.
So the point is, we have to understand the metric. Once we understand the metric, we have to collect the data. Once we have all the data, we have to apply the logic. Okay, and we have to combine, or maybe we can take the independent variables, dependent variables, and we have to use a statistical test. And by and large, even the dashboard itself, we can take the decision makings. We will be discussing that likely next week, right? And then after which we can use a statistical test, then we can go for the valid evidence. You got the logic, madam?
Yes, sir, perfectly. I got it. Thank you.
So today we are discussing, first we have to study what are the metrics are connected to each and every vertical. That's what we are discussing today. Then we will go to the dashboard, then we will go to the analytics. Got it, all of you? Any questions further? If you ask questions, maybe that's interesting. Maybe I will try to answer whatever questions you have. So, or otherwise, I just go and learn. Probably again I will get back to you. Any questions from anyone? Right. So, ma'am, do I give the break or Chanda, ma'am?
Yes, sir. We can have a short break of 10 minutes. No?
Okay.
Fine.
Yeah, it's a 5
If
7.
10 minutes, then fine. If 5 minutes you want to give, then it's so, then it's also okay.
Okay, ma'am. I'll take another 10 minutes. I'll come. It's 8
10
o'clock.
minutes back. No?
What
Fine.
time the session? 9 o'clock gets over, right, ma'am?
So
8:50.
9:30.
Oh, till
8:50, and then interaction is there. No, you can discuss further.
Okay, fine, ma'am. Sure.
Fine, sir.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, ma'am. We just take a break, then we have a time.
Sure. Sure.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Just take a break, all the participants, then I'll get back to you. So it will be after 10 minutes. Okay. Thank you. So can we start? Ma'am? Chanda ma'am?
Yes, sir. Please, sir.
Right. Can we start, ma'am? So participants, can we start?
Yes, sir.
Right. Fine.
We are-
So right. So for any doubts from anyone, please. I hope you got the point. You got the crux of the metrics. Okay. Any clarifications? Any doubts from anyone? Anyone? Any doubts? Any clarifications from anyone? Right. Indra ma'am, are you there? Yes. Ma'am.
Yes, sir, I am there, sir.
Very good. So I hope you got the point actually. So now I was thinking about what context have you asked that question? Okay, so are we going to club it? Yes. So we have to club all the data. That's what we have to collect individual metrics. Finally, we are going to create our interesting Excel database. Okay, and we are going to make it a very lengthy Excel database as per our requirement. And finally, we are going to compare different variables. Okay, so if you take logistic regressions and so employee attrition, okay, categorical variable, and you can take a lot of either categorical metric variables, you can take it and compare it and take the results. Okay, which means that yes, you're right, we have to club it. Got the point, ma'am? Got it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Fine.
Right.
Thank
So any questions from anyone? Okay, good. So the next one is the employee turnover metrics. I think all of you know what is turnover rate. Any idea what is turnover rate? Employee turnover rate. What is the use of this metric? Right. What is the use of this metric? Anyone? So employee
yeah.
turnover. Yes, ma'am. Please. Yeah.
Yes, so the turnover rate, you can measure that how many, the number of the people are leaving the organization over a certain period of a time.
Brilliant. Thank you. Faculty. Faculty, ma'am. Charlie, ma'am.
So, I'm student MBA.
Very good. So you're right, Ms. Shawley. Exactly, you're right. Exactly. Employee turnover means. So what about the number of people they are leaving from the organization side? That's all about the employee turnover rate. Okay. So maybe here I am going to ask an interesting question, right? So whether the employee turnover is a good or a bad for the organization? Whether employee turnover is a good or a bad for the organization? Anyone can please put
Sir, I guess it is good because you can self-analyze that, like what things you need to work on as an organization. If the employees are leaving, so you can at least analyze that what is the reason that they are leaving your organization.
Okay, very good. Next, any perspective from anyone? Whether employee turnover is a good or a bad for the organization? Yes, any other perspective from anyone? Yeah. Okay,
Sir,
fine.
it depends whether the employee is your key performance employee or not.
Sir, Harsha, please tell me, please. Yes, sir. Please tell me, sir. Yeah.
Sir, I said it depends whether the employee is your key performer employee or not.
Okay. Okay. Right. So turnover rate. So very important metric for the organization, right? Employee turnover rate. Right. So here we are going to a lot of interesting logic. We are going to apply employee turnover rate. For example, I am telling the employee turnover of the company for the last year is a 30%, hypothetically. But the industry average is 22%. Compared to industry average, so our company turnover is 8% higher than the industry average. 22%, 30%, 8% is higher exactly. Okay, so one metric is over. But if you see the employee turnover as like this, okay, so that is totally wrong. Okay, here we have to go for another interesting metrics. So that employer turnover can be split into two different metrics. One is a functional turnover, another one is a dysfunctional turnover. So have you heard about any idea about what is functional turnover and dysfunctional turnover? Any perspective from anyone? That's what the logic is applying here. Functional and dysfunctional. Okay. So basically 30% is employee turnover. Okay, we are going to divide the functional and dysfunctional into, no sir, yeah. Functional turnover. So the bad employees are leaving from the organization. That is all about the functional turnover. Good employees are leaving from the organization, which is all about the dysfunctional turnover. Okay, but the overall turnover is a 30%. Okay, now we have to divide the turnover 30% into functional and the dysfunctional. Okay, overall turnover, it's absolutely bad because it's against more than the industry average. But come back to the functional and dysfunctional, that 30%, okay, 27% connect to the functional turnover, 3% connect to the dysfunctional turnover. Again, I am telling 30% is a overall turnover. Functional turnover is 27%. Dysfunctional turnover is a 3%. Now you just kindly see the data and get back. Tell me, please, this turnover is good or bad? I hope you got it. What I'm telling all of you. Got it, all of you? Yes. Anyone is there? At least say yes or no or yes.
Yes, sir.
Anyone is yes?
Yes, sir.
What the point, all of you? What did I say? Say yes or no. Any doubts? Okay.
No,
So the
sir.
point. Yes, ma'am, please.
It's clear, sir. It's clear.
Yeah. What about the answer? Actually, any answer? At least someone say the perspective that should be better from my side. Exactly. Yeah. Any answer from any perspective? Got the point? 30% overall turnover. So functional turnover is a 27%. Dysfunctional turnover is a 3%. Now, if you see the employee turnover 30% above the industry average, right? So obviously it is very, very bad. But I am telling functional turnover is a 20%, dysfunctional turnover is a 3%. So see the data and get back to me. Still the employee turnover of the organization bad or good based on these data?
So
It would be
functional
good.
turnover is
Sorry?
functional turnover is the people who we want should leave the organization.
Indra madam or
Yes, sir.
functional turnover means the bad employees, bad in the sense poor
Yes.
employees, poor performers are leaving from the organization.
Want they should
Dysfunctional turnover means good employees are leaving from the organization.
right, sir.
Yeah. So now overall 30%, 27% poor performers are leaving, 3% good performers are leaving. Now you can say which this turnover is good or bad. Okay.
This is good, sir.
Why is it good, madam? Or any other perspective from anyone?
No, 27 are the functional turnover. No? That means
Correct,
the one
yeah.
we want to leave, the one who we feel that they are not good performance and they should leave the organization.
Okay. So which means that this employee turnover is good now based on this data, right?
Yes. Whereas the 3% who are leaving are the ones who should be there. So we should try to identify that what should be the means that we can retain in the organization. Either it
Okay.
is employee poaching or headhunting that is being done because of which they are going. So we can, look into the perspective and probably we can reduce that 3% also.
Okay. Any other perspective from anyone? Anyone wants to add any point? Okay. Brilliant. Right. Thank you, madam. So, which means that what is the point? If you see the turnover as a metric, I think everyone knows what is a turnover calculation. Okay. If you take the employee turnover rate, so number of employees left during the period. For example, 6 months are yearly ones. So how many number of employees are leaving? Number of employees left during the period divided by total number of employees at the beginning of the period. So the formula is 50% of employees left. Beginning 600 employees are there, 8.33%. Come back to my previous logic. So this is the overall employee turnover rate. If you see here 8.33%, out of 8.33%, 7% is a functional turnover. That's not bad. Okay, only 1% is a dysfunctional turnover. Employee turnover is not bad. Okay, but if it is a vice versa, 8.33 dysfunctional turnover is 7%, functional turnover is only 1%, that is a bad. I hope you got the logic, and you understand the different metrics which comes under employee turnover. Got it, all of you? Got it?
Yes, sir. Yes,
So,
sir.
which means that if you, when you collect the data employee turnover, you have to collect the overall employee turnover. Again, you have to divide the data into functional turnover. Again, you have to divide the data into dysfunctional turnover. Okay. Even if you go for the what about the functional turnover male, female, dysfunctional turnover male, female. Okay. Functional turnover branch wise, dysfunctional turnover branch wise, manager wise also you can go, likewise you can go. So this is called basically even the one turnover metrics. How can we divide into different metrics? If you see only one turnover is a metric, it doesn't support it, please. Okay, so basically when you talk to the people, turnover is a very bad employee turnover, it should not be very high. Okay, so that's totally wrong. Exactly, so employee turnover is right provided bad employees, poor performers are leaving. At the same time, may ask the questions, another logical questions. Is employee retention is good for the organization or bad for the organization? I think by and large students and faculty members are here. Is employee retention good or bad for the organization? Any perspective from anyone? Is employee retention good or bad for the organization?
Sir, if dysfunctional employees are retained, then it is bad for the organization.
Very good. Dysfunctional means, what are you talking? Dysfunctional means what context, madam, basically?
Dysfunctional retention means the people who are not working in the organization and then they are staying.
Brilliant, madam. That's it, exactly. So which means that employee retention doesn't support organization, right? So we cannot say that employee turnover is a negative, employee retention is a positive. Again, I'm telling maybe the basic common human resource management, employee turnover is a negative, employee retention is a positive. No. So if you see the proper data, sometimes employee turnover is a right, employee retention is a bad. Obviously what ma'am said exactly. So if you take the context, bad employees, poor performers are being retained in the organization pretty long time. Obviously that is a bad retention. There is no use of that retention. Over the period of time, these people will kill the organization and spoil the organizations, right? So which means that when you collect the we are not supposed to say that employee retention is 100%. My organization is a very good retention percentage. No. Okay. Even you have to take that 100%. How many good employees? How many mediocre employees? How many poor employees? Okay. So good employees. What about the productivity and the longevity? Oh, what about the mediocre employees? Their productivity and longevity. What about the poor employees? Maybe their productivity and longevity in the organization side. All these things we have to take and measure it. Then data communicates whether the highly tenured employees are asset or the liabilities. The data communicates. That is the power of metrics. Got it, all of you? I hope you got it. Right.
Sir.
So
Yes, sir.
next is a first year turnover rate. What about your understanding on first year turnover rate? This metric. First year turnover rate. Any idea? First year turnover rate? I think say yes or no. First year turnover rate. Yes or no, at least. Anyone, please? First year employee turnover rate.
Sir,
So,
is it
yeah,
people
ma'am,
who
please.
is it the people who have completed 1 year of tenure in the organization and are leaving the organization?
Yes, absolutely. So we can, for example, employee turnover, we can go for a 2 years once, 3 years once, okay? But first year turnover rate, here we are going to measure exactly last April the people joined. So by March this year, what is the percentage? That is a very specific of the first year turnover rate. I hope you got the logic, madam. Even the first 3 months turnover rate, we can measure it. First month turnover rate, we can measure it. Okay. Even the first 3 months turnover rate, the geographic location, gender wise, we can measure it. Okay. So, which means that overall turnover is for all the employees. First year turnover, for example, I said 30% is the employee turnover rate for the that respective year exactly. Okay. This is one metric. Again, the further metric is a first year turnover rate. Out of 30%, you know that the particular year, first year turnover rate itself is a 25%. You got the point, all of you, exactly. Which means that that particular year, 25% of people, 25% part of the people who joined that particular year, they left. Only 5% maybe people who have been sticking the organization a little bit more time. That's called, so the written employee turnover rates divided into different sub-metrics. Got it? Got it, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Right. So functional, yes, right, good. So the formula, first year turnover rates within 1 year, total number of, all this and all is a formulas. Just kindly have a look, please. And they come back to the voluntary turnover rate. Any idea what is voluntary turnover rate? Yes, anyone?
People who leave the organization on their own will and wish.
Brilliant, exactly. That is all about the voluntary turnover rate, exactly. So when you take the turnover rate, again, it goes like a divide into voluntary and involuntary turnover rate. So basically involuntary, so which is good for the organization, madam? Voluntary turnover rate is a good, or a involuntary turnover rate is good?
Sir, actually, I mean, it depends on the situation.
Okay.
If it is voluntary turnover rate and the people are functional,
Okay.
then
The
that
people,
will be a loss for the organization.
okay. Okay.
Whereas if it is
Voluntary turnover rate is okay. Okay. Right, you're right.
so voluntary, but those are functional people.
Okay. People
They're
doing,
actually
they're doing
perform-
good job. Actually, they're
they're
performing very well.
yeah.
Yeah.
And in involuntary turnover, if it is a passive employee, then it is fair enough.
Fair enough. Okay.
It is
Obviously, involuntary turnover, it's connected to the passive employees by and large. By and large, involuntary employees, passive employees. So we can go for the voluntary and turnover. Correct. Logic is right. Okay. So which means that voluntary turnover rate, for example, assume 75 employees left the company for voluntary reason out of 500 employees. So this is what voluntary, and this is what the next one is a quality of hire. Already we have discussed the quality of hire. I think any idea what is quality of hire? This metric, use of this metric. Anyone?
maybe
Quality.
competency mapping, I guess, sir.
Sorry, madam, please.
Competency mapping, if the person has the exact competencies which are required for the organization, that is if his person job fit and culture fit or not.
Ma'am, conceptually it is right, but metric wise we have to think. So anyone quality of hire?
So how much duration is the individual retained and what is his performance? Whether he is meeting the standards or not, what would be the efficiency, effectiveness that he in his performance?
Yes, ma'am. So quality of hire, yeah, connect to that exactly. So what is quality of hire? For example, this year we have recruited, for example, I am the HR manager. I had recruited 100 people this year. Okay. April 1, 2022, I had recruited 100 people. Okay. April, May, June, July, August, September, exactly 6 months over. Now I am going to measure the quality of hire. Okay, so I am going to set the benchmark now. Okay, fine. 6 months, freshers, by and large, all the MBA post out students. Okay, I'm going to set the standard. Okay, 80%. I'm going to set the standard now. So which means out of 100 people, so how many of them performed more than 80% for the last 6 months continuously? This is called quality of hire. I hope you got the logic. 100 people I have hired. I set the performance standard 80% for the last 6 months. Out of 6 months, last 6 months exactly, right? So what about their performance? Whether they, how many people exceeded 80%? Okay, out of 100 people, okay, only 25 people exceeded the 80% performance, which means that quality of hire is only 25%. Remaining 75%. So obviously there is no quality of hire. Got the point, all of you? Got it, all of you?
Yes,
A
sir.
few participants are actually mentioning in the chat box.
Okay. Value new member add to your companies. Okay. So is it possible? Can you speak? That would be better. Okay. Yeah, but not comfortable. You just chat it. Okay. Got it. So this is called about the quality of hire. So which means that here we have to collect the total number of recruitees, how many people we have hired, and we have to set up a benchmark. What is the benchmark? 80% or 85% benchmark we have to set it. Again, we have to collect the people performance, and again we have to see how many of them have performed more than 80%. We have to set it, and we have to take the calculation. What is the overall percentage of the people who have performed more than 80%? Right? And that is all about the quality of hire. So which supports to the talent and acquisition team that whether the talent and acquisition team performed or not, it supports. Right? Even we can measure the quality of hire the individual recruiter wise. For example, I am the recruiter, okay, and I am person A, B, C, D. Understand, right? We 4 people are working in the talent and acquisition team. I am going to go to the campus placement college number A. So B is going to campus placement college number B. Okay, C is going to campus placement college number C, which means that end of 6 months, the which recruiter produces good quality of hire. That's a very interesting metric. Okay, we don't want to measure only the employee performance. Even we can measure the HR department, HR employee performance also we can measure with the help of data. What the logic, all of you? Got it? Got it? I hope you got it. Success ratio 100 divided by, so that's what. Next one is employee retention. I think can I have some information on employee retention? What is employee retention? Good chat box, it has come. Yes, Nidhi Sharma, thank you. So what is employee retention? All of you, anyone, please. Employee retention. So what is employee retention? Anyone, please share about it.
The association of employee for a longer period of time with the organization.
Organization, very good. Employee retention, okay. I think employee retention we have discussed. The retention rate of stock performance, that is another. See the metric. Number of employees who stayed during the period divided by total employees at the beginning of the period. That is all about the retention. 300 divided by 600. So which means that at the beginning of the period, totally 600 employees are there. And so we have retained 300 employees. So total retention percentage is 50%. Okay, this is a 50%. Again, the logic we can apply is out of 50%, the 50% is relatively very mediocre and very average number, right? So which means out of 50%, what about the male retention percentage, female retention percentage, and the department wise retention percentage also we can go. So demographic, geographical location retention wise also we can go, right? Sub metrics of the employee retention, okay, and employee retention and the performance also we can make it and take it. For example, 50%, out of 50%, what about the those people employee performance? Okay, even another interesting logic here is 50% is a retention metric. We need the next metric called as a performance metric and the tenure metric. Okay, so the people who have been sticking the organization more than 5 years, okay, and their retention percentage is really very high. It's good in a way, but we have to see the performance. But those people performance is relatively less. Okay, so which means that our retention percentage doesn't support for the organization. Even the people who are working in the organization pretty long time, also they are not contributing to the organization. They're just simply enjoying the organization. So there is no use of retention or maybe the longevity of the people who are sticking to the organization. I hope got the point, all of you. Got the logic?
Yes, sir.
Or any doubts if you have, just kindly ask me. No, I'm asking from the different perspective. I'm not talking about only the employee retention. I'm connecting the employee retention with the different metrics, maybe the sub metrics of employee retention, as well as so how the logic supply support for the employee retention. That is also I'm discussing here. Any questions from anyone? Okay, sure. So come back to the next metric is so retention rate of store employees. This is what we have discussed. Any idea about, see the interesting metric, retention rate of store employees. Any perspective on this metric? What is the use of this metric? Okay, anyone please?
Highly functional employees.
Highly productive employees, star employees. Okay, when you take a employees, each and every organizations, okay, so all the performers are the not star performers. Okay, some performers are a great employees, some employees are the great employees, some employees are the good employees, some employees are the mediocre employees, some employees are the poor employees. Okay, so when you end up the retention, when you calculate the employee retention, right, and for example, I'm telling your retention percentage is a 80%. Out of 80%, 60% is a poor employees. So there is no use of retention. I hope you got the logic. Great employees, good employees, mediocre employees, poor employees, right? The company retention percentage is a 90%. First metric. Out of 90%, again you are going for a 1, 2, 3, 4. Out of 90%, how much great employees? What about the good employees percentage? What about the mediocre employees? And what about the average employees? You got the point. So poor employees out of 90%, so 75% or close to 70%, poor employees are sticking to the organization. So which means there is no use of employee retention. Okay, so good and great employees already left, or maybe they put on the paper, and maybe they have been leaving regularly from the organization. So which means that organization culture is a problem, right? So as a HR or the functional manager, so the people, they have to thoroughly check, right? So what about the retention rate of star employees? You're not supposed to say that, oh, my organization employee retention is really very good. Okay, we are not supposed to say that. Yes, organization employee retention is a very good. It doesn't mean that organization is going to performing very well, or organization is performing very well. But what about the great and good employees retention percentage? That matters basically, rather than average and poor employees retention percentage. So which means that we have to divide the data into different metrics and collect the data. Got it, all of you? Got it? A retention rate of star employees, which means that number of star performance who stayed during the period and total number of star employees beginning of the period. Okay, this is what the employee retention side. So retention per manager or per department. Okay. So this is another interesting metric. Retention per manager or per department. So to be frank, always I'm discussing this case exactly. So when I was in a corporate, very long back, so 2007, 2007, 2008, 2009, so 4.5 years I was in a corporate. I was working in HDFC Bank as a manager side exactly. So one manager, I was reporting to one manager, territory manager. So one person exactly, very, very interesting personality, and moreover, very, very aggressive person. Okay. So overall, the HDFC Bank, relatively, the culture is very good. The retention rate is pretty good, and turnover is pretty less. And the culture of the organization is also very good. Okay, and overall the people are enjoying. But the point exactly, under my territory manager, exactly, the turnover was very, very high. Exactly, turnover was very, very high. Exactly. Okay, so other branch manager, other territory manager, the turnover was relatively less, but under him the turnover was very high. Even I saw, so that particular close to 3 years, more than 100, 120 people put on the paper and left the organization. So which means that we can easily measure. Okay, so retention per manager, retention per department. For example, so which department retention rate is very high, which department the turnover rate is very high, right? Under whom the retention is very high, under whom the turnover is very high. Also, we can measure it. I hope there is a logic behind this. Got it, all of you? Got it? Any doubts? Any doubts from anyone? Right. So the branch wise turnover, for example, 300 is a turnover. Retention divided by total number of employees, 600, 50%, totally 2 branch. Even the branch wise also we can go 200 divided by 300, 100, which means that one branch 66%, another branch 33%. So this is the way the metrics works. Right. So no, sir. Got it, sir. So fine. Any other questions from anyone? All of you. Any other questions from anyone? Right. No issues. Next one is employee engagement. So any ideas? Employee engagement metric. We are going to discuss about employee engagement metric. What is employee engagement metric? What is the use of employee engagement metric? Anyone?
To
So,
identify passive employees in the organization.
sorry, madam, I couldn't. Sorry, ma'am, please.
Employees in the organization. The people are actively contributing towards the production in the organization.
Yeah. Employee retention objectives differ, employee turnover objectives differ, and employee engagement objectives totally differ. Okay. So employee job satisfaction, one metric. Employee engagement is another metric. Employee experience is another metric. Okay. For example, satisfied employees. Okay. Oh, fine. My employees are satisfied. One metric. Okay. Very good. But employees satisfaction, it doesn't, or it most of the times it doesn't support for the organization productive side, maybe the business performance side. Employees are satisfied. For example, I'm telling, I am paid very good salary. One employee is telling, I'm paid very good salary, but I'm not interested to work in the organization. Listen carefully. I am paid very good salary, but I'm going to quit. I'm not interested. Why? The point is, I'm not engaged. I hope you understood. Which means that compensation sometimes doesn't satisfy the employees. Working environment doesn't satisfy the employees. Okay, other than the compensation, other than the working environment, other than the maybe the subordinate and superior relation, some factors are there which is going to motivate and that's called basically employee engagement. For example, yeah, some people, they are not comfortable to go and work in government organization. Some people, obviously they need a government job. Some people, they don't want government jobs. Why? Because again, monotonous, there is no challenging assignment, there is no career growth immediately. Maybe the money is also relatively less compared to the big corporate companies. So those people are highly ambitious people. Okay, and they need a interesting assignment, challenging assignment. So this is called engagement. Job satisfaction differ, engagement differ. So which means that, so as a HR, you are supposed to understand in my organization how many people are engaged and satisfied. Okay, money provides satisfaction. It doesn't mean that money engage employees. No. Okay, maybe the challenging assignment engage employees. Good rewards and recognition engaging employees. That's what. So which means that as a HR, I have to go and conduct a survey and understand whether my employees are engaged or not. That is the crux behind this metric. Got the point, all of you? Yes, Tarun, dedication workers feels toward the job. Brilliant. Good point. Employee engagement, employee happiness, employee net promoter score, employee satisfaction. Right? So formula, employees above the engagement norm in period. Okay, head count. 220 people divided by 300 people. So which means the total number of people, 300. Out of 300, 220 people, okay, are engaged employees. Okay, which means that employee engagement rate at the organization is 73%. So remaining 27% of employees are not engaged properly. Got it? I hope you got it, all of you. Got it? Got it? So the next one is the employee happiness index metric. Any ideas what is employee happiness index? Employee happiness index. Any perspective? Employee happiness index. So this is another interesting metric. Okay, my company employees are satisfied employees, engaged employees. But what about my company employees? Whether they are happy or not? Okay, employees are engaged, employees are satisfied, but what about that employees' happiness? Okay, for example, as long as that employees are not happily working in the organization, okay, what is the use of maybe they are engaged or maybe they are satisfied. All the engaged employees also sometimes not happiness employees. Okay, maybe the employees are engaged in high working environment, high workload, but maybe they don't have a time for the work-life balance. Okay, quality of work-life balance, they don't have a time. So maybe happiness is relatively less. They are not able to spend the time with their family members. Okay, they are not able to go out, relax. Okay, so which means that happiness is relatively less. So employee happiness also to be measured. Okay, that is also another interesting metric here. Number of happy employees divided by total number of employees at the beginning of the period. Example 85 divided by 200, which means that previous example you just kindly see. Anyhow, it is hypothetical, but 73% employee engagement rate. But the same organization, it is only 42% employee happiness. What the logic all of you? Okay, all the satisfied employees are not engaged employees. All the engaged employees are not happy employees. I hope you understood, which means that when you take the metric scale, satisfaction is a metric scale, engagement is a metric scale, or when you take employee happiness, you can take it as a metric scale, and connect with the employee retention, yes or no, logistic regression. So which variable is influencing? Maybe that is the right variable you can invest and you can concentrate it. Got it, all of you? I hope it makes sense what I'm telling.
Yes, sir.
Say yes or no. I
Yes.
said very clearly. I have a metric. So employee retention, yes or no. Oh, okay, one variable. Employee satisfaction, employee engagement, employee happiness, employee experience. 4 different variables we have to go for the survey. Okay. Then whether all these variables, how these variables influencing employee retention in what, of course, we can use the statistics test. We can understand which variable is influencing more on employee retention. That variable you can invest on it. This is the way HR analytics works. All of you got it? Yes, sir. Right. Thank you. So this is another interesting metric, employee net promoter score. Any idea what is employee net promoter score? Any information? Employee net promoter score. So yeah, employee net promoter score. Any? Okay. What is employee? Yes, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am. Please.
The people who get promoted to the next level in the merit basis, but not seniority basis.
No, ma'am. Certainly no. It's not connected to the employee net promoter scores. We just kindly have a look. What is employee net promoter scores? Basically, this is called connected to the employee branding concept. Okay. What is employee net promoter score? For example, anyone who wants to join the Prestige Institute of Management, either a student or a faculty, your institution. Obviously, yeah. For example, I'm talking about the student perspective. Students wants to enroll in your institute. Okay. Obviously, students will ask the seniors, so what about the college, what about the placement, what about this, what about that, everything they're going to talk about it, right? So here we have a scale 0 to 10. You just see the scale 0 to 10. So detractors, passives, and promoters. Okay. So which means that, so 0 to 6, okay, the candidates put the score for the respective organization 0 to 6, they are not interested to recommend the organization. Passives with the neutral side 7 and 8, okay, fine, here and there. 9 and 10, so recommend the organization to the outside people, which means that when you take, for example, I'm telling your college students, out of 60 students, how many of them recommending our respective institution to the market? Okay, this is called either employee promoter score or a customer net promoter score. Okay, existing customer can provide the recommendation from 0 to 10. So but 9 and 10 score is predominantly, of course, it's recommending to the positive side. 0 to 6, it's a negative. Okay, which means that out of 60 students, okay, and what about the detractors, negative scores, positive scores, which we can take it. Got it, all of you? Got it? We just see the example. So as the employees, how likely they are recommending your skill from 80% of respondents are promoters, 20% or 10% of detractors. Net promoter score is 70%. Got it, all of you? Say yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, it is there. So employee satisfaction, I think you know this metric very simple. How many employees are satisfied? So which means that as a HR, you have to thoroughly understand what is the difference between what is employee satisfaction, what is employee engagement, what is employee experience, what is employee value proposition, what is employee happiness, what is employee net promoter score. All these metrics, right? But all these metrics has a thin difference. That's what I'm telling. Our conceptual knowledge should be very, very strong so that when you collect the data, you have a lot of information on that. Okay. So the HR doesn't know what is the engagement and what is satisfaction. Instead of the engagement, the HR collects only satisfaction data. Of course, the satisfaction has some questions. Only based on that question, you collect the data. It doesn't provide an expected result to the company side. Got the point? Makes sense, all of you? Makes sense? Yes, right. So the
Yes.
metrics for the training and development. So the next is a training and development metrics, training hours. Okay. Training hours per employees. This is another interesting metrics. What is the objective behind this metric? Anyone, please? Training hours per employee.
Sir,
What is
may
the
I?
use? Yes, ma'am, please.
Sir, the number of hours is being invested on like per employee
Very
for their
good.
training, for their training.
Absolutely brilliant. Exactly. So what is the use of this metric? Why are we supposed to measure this metric?
Sir, I guess see, when for for organization purpose, they want to measure the exact the time they are investing for each employee so that they can manage. See, if they are one employee, they are investing 2 hours, for example, for the training. So how they are going to manage their 50 new employees, for example? So how they're going to manage all those employees?
Good point. Thank you. Any other perspective from anyone? Training hours per employee. What is the use of this metric? Why are we supposed to calculate this metric basically?
To measure training effectiveness, sir.
Correct, ma'am. Maybe that's a training satisfaction level. Okay, to measure the training effectiveness, that's a training satisfaction level. Satisfaction level of the training. Okay, training hours per employees. Okay, I'll tell you. If you take, there is a company called Google. Everybody knows. Okay, you know, right? Google every year it's a mandatory training hours is 120 hours. Every year, each and every employee you are supposed to attend 120 hours mandatory training, irrespective of the designation, right? So why this particular metric, the Google is being, the company is being practiced exactly because of you, so that you can refresh your skills, upgrade your skills as per your convenience. You can attend the training and upgrade your skills. Otherwise, it's not comfortable. So if you take North America's different companies, it is a 43 hours, which means that so the elite companies, well-reputed companies, so they have a standard 120 hours mandatory. Other companies, okay, it's a 43 hours. They have another standard exact. So this is what the difference between one company to another company, which means that training hours per employee. So in our institute, in our organization, on an average, how many hours are we providing training to our employees? Because that makes very, very important thing. So unless we provide the training, so training is not only connected to the initial period. Training is a continuous process. Again, I'm telling, training is a continuous process. Even for example, how often are we providing training to the employees? On account of that, the employees will get rejuvenated, employees will upgrade new skills, employees learn new things, obviously, which support for their productivity and as well as the performance side. So training hours per employee, every year the company has to measure it. That's what the metric began. Got it, all of you? Total training hours per employees divided by number of employees. 10,000 training hours divided by 50. So on an average per year, it's a 200 hours on an average. Okay. Even the department wise also we can go, right? Training expenses per employees. What's the formula here? Any guess? Training expenses per employee.
Total training upon the number of employees.
Sorry, madam, tell me please.
Total training cost divided by number of employees.
Brilliant. Total training expenses divided by number of employees. Perfectly right. 12 lakhs, 60, 20,000 per employees. So further you can go to the department wise also you can go to 12 lakh rupees, 4 departments, marketing 3 lakhs, HR 7 lakhs, finance department 2 lakhs, operation department 2 lakhs. Okay. So if you go for the 60 people, 15, 15, 15, 15. So which department training expenses is very high and which department the productivity also, whether there is a correlation between, for example, HR department, we have spent more number of money for the training, but what about the HR department productivity? Whether there is a good correlation between training department and the productivity we have to measure. So this is the way the data works. Got it? This is what ma'am said, employee satisfaction with the training satisfaction level. 225 employees divided by 300. 75% of employees are satisfied in the training process. Got it, all of you? Got it?
Sir, I guess, is there any difference between employee satisfaction with training and training effectiveness?
No difference, madam. Equal, actually. Training effectiveness and employee satisfaction. Obviously, when you go for the training effectiveness, we have to collect the feedback from the employee satisfaction. Okay, employees who have attended the training, they are going to provide a satisfaction level of the training. Of course, we are going to collect the data from the employees only. So which means that employee satisfaction with the training and the training effectiveness, obviously it is the same. Got the logic, ma'am? Because whom we are going to collect the data? Employees who were attending the training. Got it, ma'am?
Sir, if it would be, the training is held at a very good place, maybe in some resort or somewhere where they have got, good refreshments, good, better place to stay. Probably they are satisfied.
Okay.
But what are the skills or what are the exact things that are being learned? Probably this would be the training effectiveness. I mean, what is the gap that is being filled between the performance expected and the actual performance? That would be the
Understood,
effect.
madam. So, see, for example, I'm telling employee satisfaction with the training. Okay, when you prepare a form, okay, correct, your logic is right. Training effectiveness, we're talking about the training, specifically training skills, knowledge. So, employee satisfaction, infrastructure, the fun element, the hotel room, the food, okay, cab arrangements, this is the side. Correct, right, ma'am? So basically, when the employee satisfaction with the training, so you can go for either one form or a two form. It's up to the respective individual side. Okay, so most of the times, even the companies are using only one form, which comprises of, right, what you said, training effectiveness, for example, trainer's knowledge, okay, and training aids, training materials, training quality, training time, okay. Likewise, training aspects. Another side, infrastructure, the food quality, staying comfortable, right, and the cab facilities, room comfortableness, another thing, which means that we can measure the quality of the training effectiveness, and other than that, employee satisfaction with the other side. Okay, and we can collect two different set of data also we can measure. So either we can go for a one form, or otherwise the same one form, part A, part B also we can go in, or otherwise we can go for a two different questionnaire also we can go, and we can measure it and we can justify it. One is a training effectiveness, another one is employee satisfaction with the training. It's up to the respective organization. Got it, all of you? Got it, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Got it? So it's up to there is no hard and fast rule that exactly we have to go for a training. Effectiveness is, logically it is different. What you said is absolutely right. But by and large, okay, two or three different forms, maximum people won't use it exactly. Okay, they are using the same form and collect the different data. Part A one data, part B one data. Okay. Got it, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
So the next one is a performance metrics. Okay, so here we are going to use another metrics, performance metrics, revenue per employees. Okay, what is the total revenue per employees? Okay, total revenue for the particular year divided by total number of employees. Okay, this is what performance metrics. So whether the company is performing or not, whether our company's revenue is increasing or not, right? So of course the finance is very important. So which means that 3 crore 81 lakhs. So revenue per employee is 95. So this is for the overall organization revenue per employee. Okay, but we are not supposed to calculate like this. Again, we have to go for the individual wise the metrics, okay, department wise. But yes, for your understanding, I'm just telling. But if you want to revenue per employee, yes, department wise also have to go. Marketing revenue, maybe the HR departments, the production departments, operation department, financial departments, or otherwise overall revenue can calculate it. So that's connected to the respective organization side. Okay, I'm sorry. This is another metric, profit per employees. This is another interesting. So what is the net profit divided by total number of employees? Revenue is different, the profit is different, right? So this also we can calculate from the performance metric. Okay, department wise, individual employee wise also we can calculate. Got it, all of you? Clear? Say yes. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. And absenteeism rate, this is a very, very interesting metric. Absenteeism rate, number of absent days divided by a total number of days. So which means that so each and every employee you can easily measure, for example, like a student. So student A, student B, student C, actually total number of working days and total number of absenteeism. Okay, and which year, for example, first year absenteeism is very high, second year absenteeism is very high. Okay, which department, marketing department or a finance department, operation department absenteeism is very high, we can measure it. Okay, male absenteeism is very high, female absenteeism is very high, we can measure it. Which quarter absenteeism is very high, also we can measure it. By and large, in the corporate, fourth quarter absenteeism is very high. Yeah. Fourth quarter is absenteeism is very high because the people are not comfortable, the people are searching a job, the people will be moving from here and there. So that is also all about the absenteeism side. All right. So this is all about the absenteeism. Okay. So even the quarter wise, department wise, gender wise, geographical location wise, manager wise, okay, we can measure it. Got it? Got it, all of you? Okay. This is all about the absenteeism wise. Got it? Got the points? Got it? Say
Yes,
yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's see. Very good. Okay, this is all about the absenteeism. So far we have discussed metrics. So almost we have discussed a lot of metrics, talent and acquisition metrics, and employee turnover metrics, employee retention metrics, employee engagement metrics, and training metrics and performance metrics. On an average, each and every vertical 4 to 5 metrics we have discussed, 25 to 30 metrics we have discussed, logic we have discussed, formulas we have discussed, everything which we had discussed thoroughly. I hope you got the point. What is metrics? What is formulas? What is the use of the metrics? And what about the logic behind it? And where are we supposed to use the metric? Got it, all of you? Clear from my side? Say yes or no.
Yes, sir.
Right, brilliant. So slowly we will move to the last part, is the indicators. Okay, indicators is a next part. Okay, maybe I just take another 5 minutes, maximum 7 to 8 minutes. I'll complete the session, then I'll go for a question and answers. Indicators. Okay, have you heard about the indicators exactly? Any idea what is indicators? Key performance indicators, KPI. So probably you might have heard about this. Key performance indicators. What is key performance indicators? Yes, any idea, Indra ma'am or anyone? Anyone? Yes. Key performance indicators. Indicators. Have you heard about indicators?
Yes, sir. Indicators, if I explain it simply,
Oh.
the first indicators were being used while we are driving a vehicle, probably a scooter that we want to move, turn towards right, or we want to turn towards left. So that is a simple meaning which I can tell you. And indicators, when we talk about key performance indicators, that tells about what is the performance parameters. That means whether the individual has performed better, I mean, above par, at par, or below par. What would be the one that tells that they have performed better, or not better, or average?
Thank you. So any other perspective on indicators, anyone? Right. So in the HR analytics, even in the organization, the indicators are very powerful than the metrics. Again, I'm telling. So we have discussed metrics so far. Okay, all the metrics, yes, of course, all the metrics are very, very important. But compared to metrics, indicators are very, very powerful. That is the reason we are telling it is a key performance indicators. Key performance indicators which supports for the key result areas. When we set up the strategy map, for example, balanced scorecard, I hope yesterday you should have discussed, okay, how to prepare the strategy map, okay. For the balanced scorecard approach, when the organization set up the strategies, obviously the organization has to identify the key performance indicators, that is a metric for each and every department, like a finance, operation, internal process, sorry, the customer, employees, the organization has to thoroughly identify the indicators, which means that indicators are the primary and very, very important role. Organization focus on those indicators, the result will happen without any doubt. That is called indicators. So I would say exactly all the indicators are metric, but all the metrics are not indicators. Again, please keep it. All the indicators are metric, which means that indicators to be measured. Indicators are metric, but all the metrics are not indicators, which means that all the metrics are not playing the key performance role in the organization, right? But all the indicators are metrics, which means all the indicators to be measured for the point, right? Let's kindly have a look. Have you heard about, there are two types of indicators? Have you heard about it? There are two types of indicators. Have you heard about it? Right? Any guess? At least any guess? Two types of indicators. Okay. There are two types of indicators. One is a leading indicator, another one is a lagging indicators. At least now you got it. Leading and lagging. Performance management lecture. Okay. Leading and lagging indicators to measurement to assess the performance in the business organization. So the difference between two leading indicator and lagging indicator is leading indicator is going to support for the predictive, the future. Lagging indicator is a past, the descriptive data. It was over, it cannot be changed, but which is going to support for the future. For example, I'm telling employee turnover is a 30% the last quarter. It's higher than the industry average. Industry average is a 25%. Employee turnover is industry average is 20%. Employee turnover 30%. 10% higher. Okay, lagging indicator. It cannot be changed, but which supports for the leading indicator. Okay, what is leading indicator here? Yes, next quarter, if I want to reduce and curb the employee turnover, what I have to do, right? So I have to reduce, I have to implement employee engagement activities. I have to focus employee retention activities. I have to focus employee value proposition activities, which means that all these are leading indicators. Employee engagement, employee retention, employee satisfaction, employee value proposition, all these four are leading indicators, which means that so the company has to concentrate these leading indicators to improve the organization performance, to reduce the employee turnover. So this is what lagging and leading indicators, which mean that company focus leading indicators, company can solve the organization issues and problems. Got it, all of you? Got it? Say yes,
sir.
or no. Got it?
Yes, sir.
What basically indicators, which means that compared to metrics, indicators are very powerful. So your job is HR people job, not only the HR people, basically the HR people jobs. It's all the respective functional managers, they are thoroughly check what are the key performance indicators are going to be used for the organization efficiencies. That is the reason we are using KPI in the balanced scorecard. Okay, what is balanced scorecard? Balanced scorecard, we are going to take all the segments, finance, customer, internal process, and employees, list down the KPI, target, initiatives for the overall year. Right? This is called leading indicator, and this is called lagging indicator. Got it? Leading indicator is a predictive measurement. Lagging indicator is an output measurement. Right. So kindly have a look for what is the difference between lagging indicator and leading indicators. Just kindly have a look, just please. Right. So now you got the doubt. So you got the point exactly. So what about the lagging indicator and what about the leading indicator? Last month's sales performance, it cannot be changed, lagging indicator. But how can I improve the business performance? Increase the customer calls, leading indicator. Bring new customers, indicators. Trained employees, training is indicators. Retaining existing customer, indicator. Employee turnover. Right. Right. So I think dashboards, of course, I'll be discussing in a practical way in the next week exactly. So we will be discussing in the practical way in the dashboard exactly. We will create the dashboard. We are going to discuss some 1 or 2 cases on dashboards. Okay, this is what the plan. I just stopped the discussion now. Okay, we have discussed so far metrics or different metrics under the different verticals and formulas, logics, critical thinkings, everything we have discussed, and following which indicators also we have discussed. Right, I just stopped the discussion now. So over to Chanda madam and as well as the participants. If you have any questions, you can ask me, please. Thank you from my side. Yeah, from my side, it's okay. Thank yeah.
Do we have any query? Participants, please respond.
It's
No
clear, ma'am.
query.
It's clear.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you for responding.
Yes, ma'am.
Any questions from anyone on HR metrics and indicators? Anything, just kindly ask me. So I hope so. The session was useful. I hope you got a lot of points regarding the HR metrics. Okay. If you have any questions, you just kindly ask me, please.
Sir, a small doubt.
Yeah, ma'am, please.
So we started with the comparison chart of matrix and analytics. Matrix and analytics, we started with a comparative chart.
Okay.
So we seen the matrix like performance matrix, talent acquisition matrix and all. But how would we understand the talent analytics? Is there something like that? Is there any such kind of concept?
Talent analytics, correct, ma'am? This is what your question specifically.
So question specifically is we have discussed matrix.
Yeah.
Is there any corresponding analytics towards it, or analytics is just analyzing part of matrix?
Ma'am, so basically how the HR analytics works. Okay. Is it possible? Just a second, madam. 1 second. 1 second, ma'am. I just I'll show you the data. Okay. Maybe you can easily understand that. If you see the data, you can understand. New share. Stop share. Okay. 1 second, ma'am, please. Open the data.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ma'am, is the screen is visible, ma'am, now for you?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Ma'am, this is a real data set which I'm going to use it next week for my analysis purpose. Okay, and this is a IBM data sets for the employee attrition. It is a real data set. IBM company's employee attrition. Of course, it is available in the internet, but different sources you can go and get it exactly. This data sets which I'm going to use it, I will share this data set the next week exactly. You just kindly have what are the metrics which we have discussed here. For example, attrition, yes or no. Like, of course, I have changed the data set because as per my convenient, I just because earlier it was yes and no option. All the data set is visible, ma'am.
Yes, Yes, sir,
Yes.
it is visible.
You just kindly see that attrition 1010, the second column, age of the employee, right?
Mm.
So basically, for example, age of the employee, this is a metric. But
Mm.
by and large, we are not going to use. We can use it, but we won't use for the age of the employees. Maybe we can club it. For example, 1 to 40 to 45, we can club it. 45 to 50, we can club it. 25 to 30, we can club it. Which means that the particular group, what about the performance also, we can measure it. That is a one way. But if you take the attrition side, 10, I'm using. For example, if you take the
For the involvement and attrition, we can go ahead, I guess.
this is what you are like, which means that we have to collect, even this data set has around 35 variables, close to officially close to you just kindly see here the data set 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 one second. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 35 data sets. Okay, 35 variables the company has. Okay, now you just kindly go the logical wise exactly. So here I'm going to use maybe different linear logistics as per my convenient. I'm going to use it. For example, your easy understanding, I go for environment satisfaction. Okay, environment satisfaction, it is a scale, exactly scale measurement we can go it. Okay, highly satisfied likewise. If you take another is a categorical variable, gender also male and female. So what about the male and female environment satisfaction also? There is a logic. Okay, job involvement, job satisfaction. Okay, and if you take another logics, okay, work-life balance, years at the companies. Okay, this is the way the data is going to be collected. Got it, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Got it, right? Now, after which, I think someone is.
Yeah, I think somebody
Yeah.
else is also
One second.
unmuted.
I'll just mute. Second. Not able to. That's,
Not able to mute him.
yeah, even I'm not able to mute it.
Hmm.
Pinned, it seems. Okay. Ma'am, you got it point, ma'am.
Yes,
Indra,
sir.
ma'am, you
Sir.
got
Yes,
it
sir.
right. So which
Yes.
means that now you collect the data. So first point is exactly this company has, as per this data sets, 35 variables have used it. Okay. Even if you apply the logic, you can collect even more variables also can collect the information. More variables or more metrics you can collect it exactly. Even which provides a lot of information to you. That's what today we have discussed. Okay, we can apply a lot of our HR conceptual and metrics knowledge, and we can collect a lot of metrics. Okay, and we can collect the data, connect to the metrics, then take and combine, do the analysis and everything. We can do it. Got it, ma'am? What I'm telling.
Yes, yes, sir. Right, sir.
This is
Perfect.
the way. So this is what our this is the way we have to use the metrics. Then we have to go for the analysis side. Got it, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Yes, I got it.
Next, any questions? Any questions from anyone, please?
Any question? Anyone else? They might be having questions during your lecture in offline class.
Yes, ma'am. Everyone is replying like, thank you, sir. And thank you so much, sir. So that was the very insightful session. Thank you for your time, sir. We will be happy to see you in Gwalior. Sir, thank you, sir. Sir, I would like to welcome Garima ma'am to propose vote of thanks to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Yogita. Thank you, sir. Actually, we were in contact since so long, but then you accepted our invitation, and then you accepted for offline class as well. So I'm really grateful to you. Thank you so much. And believe me, the session was very good. You explained everything very well. It's not that they are writing just for the sake of writing. It was actually well.
So this time, so I'm going to believe you. Actually, so I took it in the very positive. Yes, I have done the good job exactly. So, okay.
Last time also you did very good job, and this time also
Okay.
your job was very good. So thank you so much, sir, and thank you all the participants. Please, I have shared the attendance link. Please mark your attendance, and we'll meet again tomorrow Thank you, sir. So looking forward to meet you in person in
Yeah,
Gwalior
sure, ma'am.
on 29th.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Sure,
Ma'am,
madam.
which I want to add here.
Yes,
Hmm.
ma'am.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
It was just like a teaser, sir. Today's session was a teaser, and we are waiting for the movie.
It's okay. It's okay.
So this was really
Okay.
awesome, wonderfully explained, and wonderfully, we actually understood what is HR matrix and analytics. So looking towards the movie.
Sure, ma'am. We will discuss actually. In fact, today I thought of discussing one case also. In fact, I have prepared the case, but the problem is once the discussion is on, it goes. We are not able to. I'm not able to confine anything exactly. So whatever we know, I know. I just share all the information. Again, today also, I'm not able to share the case. Probably I'll share the case with you people when I come there. And we have a lot of, but only 2 sessions. I'm going to share all these cases. Maybe you can use it later. You can once you thoroughly understand the concepts, maybe later you can use it and you can discuss exactly. Okay, so I thoroughly enjoy the sessions. I hope the session provide some good insights on HR analytics. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you so
Thank
much, Garima madam.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Miss Yokita, and thank you so much, Chanda madam, and as well as the Indra madam and other participants. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye,
Bye.
sir. Bye.
Sir, thanks a lot.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
Bye,
you.
ma'am.
Bye,
Bye,
sir.
ma'am. So, bye, ma'am. Thank you so much. So, can I wind up, ma'am? So, we will
Yes,
meet.
sir, yes,
I'll
sir.
give it.
Yeah, sure.
Bye,
sir.
bye, all of you. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye, sir. Thank you.